Now, 9 months ago, I was standing in our lobby here at Perrysburg, and I saw a woman walk through with a yellow Savannah Bananas tumbler, and I'm like, I love the bananas. And she turned around and she said, I do too. She said, my son plays for them. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we started a conversation. She's like, yeah, he actually grew up here at Cedar Creek. And that conversation is what led to where we are at today. And so today, you are gonna meet one of the most popular players on the Savannah Bananas baseball team. Our video team sat down with him just a few months ago to give him space to share the journey that God has had him on to get him to where he's at today, to help him see his purpose and his calling and his gifting. And so I'm excited for you to hear his story. And if you're interested in asking KJ questions, here's how you can submit a question for our Q&A time. You can go to our app, or you can scan the QR code on a seat around you and start submitting your questions now. For those of you who don't know much about the Savannah Bananas, it's basically like a club team for college players through the summer or out of college before they get into the minor leagues. And just over 10 years ago, Jesse Cole bought this team in Savannah, Georgia, and he wanted to turn this team experience into the best 2 hours of your life. And so he did just that. He changed so many rules, brought some incredible music, transformed the vibe. You know what? Don't take my word for it. I'll give you a taste of Savannah Bananas right now.
This is anything but traditional baseball. They're called the Savannah Bananas.
If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. A pitch in the dirt, the batter steals first. And if you draw a walk, you better run as fast as you can.
From Montana to Savannah, from the Isle of Man to Tokyo, Japan, the Banana Maniacs come from across the globe to witness this. This is not baseball.
I got this feeling, yeah, you know where I'm losing all control, 'cause there's magic in my bones. I got this feeling in my soul. Go ahead and throw your stones, 'cause there's magic in my bones.
This was the home stadium of the Philadelphia Phillies on a Saturday night in September. A completely sold out, standing room only crowd of 45,000.
Savannah
Bananas. That's right. They'll be taking the field at Grayson Stadium.
I got this feeling, yeah, you know where I'm losing all control, 'cause there's magic in my bones. I got this feeling in my soul. Go ahead and throw your stones, 'cause there's magic in my bones. Close my mind, 'cause there's magic in my bones.
So I grew up going to Cedar Creek, and me and my brothers, outside of our faith, we thought we were going to be amazing athletes. MLB, NFL, professional sports. We all thought that that was our path and that was our calling. And my parents, they've been just so strong in their faith for my whole life.
It was always important for us to teach the boys, our three boys, to have a relationship with Christ. And so we felt it was important to always live a lifestyle that showed that, made sure we went to church as much as possible.
Growing up, like my mom, my dad, they were big sports people. They love sports, but they would always let us achieve our dreams in sports. And I would go different states and I'd be gone for weeks and months on end. And my parents are just telling us like, hey, you gotta pray, you gotta read your Bible. Just planting the seed over and over again, like never letting us go too long without being watered.
Kyle's main goal in life was to make the people around him laugh. He wanted people to be happy. He's very much an empath. He could pick up on the fact that people were sad, and he would work whatever he could do to change their mood, to be silly, to be goofy, to make funny faces, just laugh in general. He's got a very infectious laugh. He always has had an infectious laugh, but that was like his mission in life from the time he was able to say words. So Kyle very early on wanted to be an actor. Very early on. That's what he wanted to do. This was really kind of before he realized he was good at baseball or good at sports. But he always had that like seed to want to be a performer. And then he just became really good at baseball. And it was kind of like this idea that like, well, you could go play professional baseball first and then just transition to acting because you're not going to play. And so that was always there.
I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be in a position where a lot of people knew me and I was able to reach a lot of people. I always thought I was going to be a baseball player, and then I go to college and I assume that I'm still going to be going to play professional baseball, even though I may not be the best player out here anymore. I used to be the best player in high school, and now I'm in college where everyone's the best player. And then as I grew up, my mom, she always had an acting background, so in the back of my mind it was like, oh, I could also be an actor. I could go be on TV, I could be on a stage. And I go to college, sophomore year, I am having the most fun time of my life. I'm one of our best players. I'm the captain of the team, and things are falling into place in terms of baseball. I'm like, okay, this is now the new path. Like, all I gotta do is just stay consistent and I'm gonna make it. And I'm go through the whole fall ball season, play super well. I'm talking to basically 20 out of the 30 MLB teams, and I'm like, okay, well, if they're talking to me, I'm definitely gonna make it. And the last day of fall ball, my sophomore year, I was only 19 years old. I'm messing around in my apartment, and I hit my face off a counter. I remember hitting my face, flashing white light, neck cracks, spine cracks, boom, I'm down. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh no, I'm paralyzed. And hurt my back, hurt my neck, hurt my face, stitches, everything changed. And I feel the most excruciating, lingering pain ever in my back, and my back's just aching. I go back to school ball, and all of a sudden, like, my hip starts aching, and it's only probably January, February, and practicing, and my hip is just in the most excruciating, stabbing pain I've ever felt in my life. Couldn't even walk. And I decided to play anyway. And about game 31, I go to dive for a ball, and my back ruptures, my spine ruptures. The next thing you know, I'm getting set up for a back surgery on June 10th. And I have the surgery. They tell me, you're basically gonna be bedridden for a month, and then you should be cleared in a month. And I go home from the surgery, and it doesn't feel any better. It feels honestly worse. And I'm so negative. I've never been in a darker place in my entire life.
That was hard on me. Like, I fielded most of the phone calls from him trying to like relieve the pain. Like, what can I do to relieve the pain? What can I take? What exercise can I do? What can I do to help him at least not be in pain so much? Like, yeah, he can't play, but he can't sleep, he can't eat, he can't walk. So I tried everything, and I got to the point where I was a little bit at a loss, and like,
it was a lot of prayer, from our family. Lord, please just help Kyle, get through this to the best of his ability and lead him in, help him. We really wanted to have him accomplish his dreams that he's always wanted as parents. Of course you want to see your kids do that, but we started to realize that it was going to be tough. That was tough. That was tough on all of us. Even our other two, his brothers, like, they just kind of watched his light kind of dim a little bit with this injury, and that was hard to watch.
And then I heal, I'm able to walk again, and my junior year rolls around, don't play as well. Senior year rolls around, don't play as well. And all 20 of those MLB teams, gone. No one wants me anymore. So throughout the whole thing, we just kept trying to encourage Kyle, tell Kyle, God has a plan, he's gonna turn this for good, like, something positive is gonna come. And that was for Kyle, but honestly, that was for me. Like, I needed God to turn this into good. Like, I needed him in this moment because I couldn't help, and we just couldn't. Honestly, we couldn't see Kyle doing anything else, to be honest with you. It was one of those things where, like, well, what, now what? Like, if this doesn't work, like, now what? We needed God to step in because we were at the end of our road. In my head, I already knew that I wasn't gonna go to the MLB. I knew I wasn't gonna get drafted. I knew I wasn't getting any free agencies. I knew all the things, but I didn't want to admit it. And this is where it gets dark. Every morning I would wake up and I'd say, today's the day I'm gonna die. And today's the day where I'm gonna have another life-altering injury. Like, during the game, I'd be at third base, pitch is about to be thrown, and in my head, live during the game, I'd be thinking, oh, this ball's gonna get hit me in the face, and I'm gonna die. And then I'd be hitting in the box. I'd be about to hit, and I'd say, this pitcher's gonna hit me in the face, and I'm gonna die right here. And then I'd be envisioning myself, like, real visions of myself breaking my arm, breaking my leg, compound fractures, like, visions of this happening to me every day for months. And I'm like, this is scary. I'm so scared, terrified. my family, they're telling me, go to church, like, just go to church and like pray about it, like think about it, and nothing's working. I'm like, get away. Stop talking to me. Like, I don't want to hear any of that. I basically didn't pray at all and basically just fell out. And my grandmother, she's telling me like all the things that like are still planned for me, and I'm like, you're lying. I'm like, no way. That's not me.
I feel like when he realized that his dreams weren't going to come true as far as the draft, I felt like he was upset. He was searching, and like I said, we raised him, to have a relationship with Christ, raised him in the church, and he was really down on himself, which is understandable. So he had a Bible there he was reading, and he was going through it, and so he was diving into that, trying to find some reasons, find some answers, and I was happy that he was. There's a lot of times when bad things happen to people, they instantly blame it on God, like God did this to me. And what I tried to get across to all my boys is that God doesn't do anything bad. That comes from the enemy, and so he can turn those bad things into good. Sometimes he allows things to happen, but anyway, Kyle was searching. He was just, we had a lot of heart-to-heart conversations at that time, and it was a really low point for him. But he started to come around and started to realize that there's more important things in life.
And I go to church, and they're talking about conviction of faith through struggle. And he's talking about hupomone, which is the Greek word for conviction of faith through struggle. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's really cool. I love that. It's amazing. And like, I'm going through like the biggest struggle. When you're going through struggles, firmly plant yourself in your faith, and you're not gonna tilt over, and you're gonna be unwavering, and you're gonna be convicted, and you're gonna be strong. You'll never know what your foundation's built on if it's always sunny. But if it rains really, really, really hard for sometimes 2 years, in my case, your foundation's gonna be exposed to the world. And I felt myself crumbling, weak, alone through that service, and through reading the Bible, and through praying, and through surrounding myself with my family. And if you do it on your own, you're not gonna win. If you do it through your friends, you're not gonna win. Sometimes even your family, you're not gonna win. But if you do it through God, you will win. 2 weeks left in the season, my senior year, it's over, and I'm getting ready. I'm literally packing my bags before the season's even over. I was totally content with my career being done.
So I had been on social media and saw the Savannah Bananas, and so I just followed them on social media, and then I was fairly relentless. My kids will tell you I manifested. Like, I was relentless with my pursuit of the Savannah Bananas, and they would roll their eyes at me and they're like, whatever. And I was like, you have to understand, like, this is baseball and entertaining. These are the two things that Kyle wants most in life.
With 2 weeks left, I'm like, I have to do something. I have to try something. I'm not just gonna give up. And I fill out the Bananas questionnaire, and it comes to the very last point where it's submit a video. Your video, you can edit it however you want. I didn't even have a video. So I wiped the entire questionnaire. I'm like, oh, I'll do a video when I get home. And I go into my exit meeting. Season ends on a Thursday. We played the MAC tournament Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I have my exit meeting. And I tell them I don't want to play baseball anymore. My coaches are looking at me like I'm crazy. They're like, why? You could go play indie ball right now. You have a chance. And they're telling me I could even make it still. And I'm telling them I don't even want to. I don't have that drive to do it anymore. I just had all the energy sucked out of me for baseball. And I'm like, I'd rather do something where I'm gonna be in the spotlight. I'd rather go act. I'd rather go dance. And they were like, yeah, we know. Like, we got your back. And they told me straight up that they were gonna reach out and see what happens, and they're gonna ask the coach if I can get a tryout. And not even 2 hours have gone by after my meeting, and the Bananas are calling me. Head coach of the Bananas says, do you wanna come to a private tryout tomorrow in Columbus? And the fact that even happened is crazy enough, because if we would have even won one of those games on Wednesday or Thursday, we would have played on Saturday in the consolation game. But we lost both, which meant Friday exit meeting, Saturday I could go to the tryout. So us losing both those games had to happen. And my coach telling me, yeah, we'll give you a shot. And I go to my tryout in Columbus, I meet all the guys, I try out, don't do anything special. I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't do anything cool. And they tell me that based on maybe my energy or my smile or the way I act, they were like, you're perfect. You can do it. And then, do you want to be the shortstop of the visitors? And I'm like, yes, sure. I don't even know what the visitors are. I'll do it. And I go, my body hasn't felt good in 2 years. My back still hurts, my arm hurts, my knees hurt. And as soon as I stepped foot into Savannah, it felt like my whole body healed. Like my back didn't hurt anymore, my arm didn't hurt anymore, my knees stopped hurting. I was like, what is this? Like, why do I have so much happiness? And like, I feel so good right now. Like I haven't felt like this in a long time. And all my teammates are like, yeah, we knew you would do it. Like, this is perfect for you. And I'm like, dude, I know, I needed this. This is like the only thing I probably needed was like to find the joy again. And after 2 years of thinking, oh, I'll never make it. And next thing you know, I'm in a position where I'm literally trying out for the team I just told everyone I wanted to do, and then make it within the same day. It was the most insane experience through college, through the injuries, through the friendships and the failures and the injuries, everything. Couldn't have scripted any better, honestly. But now it's such a reality because of God and like his plan to get me literally right here. Through that though, if I don't have my back surgery, I go to the MLB. If I don't have my back surgery and don't get to go to the Cape, I go there, and now I'm here. And if I lose those first 2 games in the tournament, I don't get to try out. And if my coaches don't know the coaches of the Bananas, it doesn't work out. And if I don't minor in theater performance, it doesn't work out. And if I don't have the skills that I had as a kid, it doesn't work out. And it's so weird that like it all worked out because it wasn't supposed to in my mind, but in God's mind and his plan, it was already written. So all I had to do was just get back into what I know, replant the foundation, make it even stronger, and now I'm able to do so many things I would have never imagined even 700 days ago. I would have told you, no way. Crazy. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. If I do end up going to the MLB and I make it on the big stage and I make a 40-man roster and I'm signing cards and they're being sold and all those things, like maybe my childhood dreams are happy, but I'm not. As a grown person now, and knowing what I know and feeling what I feel, like all the attributes and the skills that God blessed me with as a kid were never going to correlate or translate to traditional baseball. I would have been a wasted energy. They would have probably taken it away from me rather than I would have been filled up with it. You know, if you go and play for a coach who's a certain type of way, that can totally change how you act. You're around players who are all negative because they all want the same thing, is just to make it. And if that's what you're surrounded by, that becomes your environment. So knowing that honestly pushed me away even more because there was no way I was gonna go play 160 games around people who don't care about my well-being, who don't even care about their own well-being, and try to make it to something that is just an empty dream and will not fulfill you at all. I was blessed with charisma and being funny, and if you're playing traditional baseball, how do you do that? When do you do that? You have to wait till you're done. And instead, I'm able to do it now and play and impact all together, which is exactly what I wanted. When I was going through my back injury and going back to church and just trying to rediscover myself, I went to church, and on t-shirts, they had a cross equals a heart. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, it goes both ways. Like, if you do, like, love equals Jesus, Jesus equals love, like, it's perfect. If you believe in it, put it on your face. Like, it's such a cool, like, simple, effective way to, like, show who you are and what you stand for. And people ask me all the time, like, what does your eye black mean? And I'm like, exactly what you think. I'm like, Jesus is love, bro. And people, I think it's resonating more and more and more every day. The more traction I get on social media, the more eyes on me. And if that's the one thing they're looking at, I'll be okay with that. Through my journey, through sports, through injury, and through failure, through all those things, I was able to find my purpose, which was never sports. And it was never entertainment. I would say my passions have always been to be on a stage, be on the spotlight, and to do all the things in front of people where I can connect. And my personality has always resonated that because that's who I am as a person. I'm outgoing, energetic, passionate, and sometimes overzealous, just biting off more than I can chew. And I like that about myself, is that I'm able to just go after something and not be scared of the outcome, because I have all the faith in the world that it'll already work out. And being in this place has just only proven that more and more, because in my heart and in my head, I knew I was gonna be somewhere like this. And I knew I was gonna be in a situation like this. And now I find myself in the situation right where I'm meant to be.
Throughout this process, we couldn't be prouder of Kyle for reaching his dreams, doing something that, suits him perfectly. But he had to go through it. He went through a lot of trials, and something that the enemy had wanting to be bad, God turned it into something good. So proud of all of my boys, and Kyle's living his dream right now. So
it feels like the purpose and my energy and all of the things that I always wanted are perfectly in line. And now it's just a matter of navigating it the right way and growing the light even bigger, because there's still times where I feel empty and lonely. And so being able to have your passions and your fire for Christ be totally in line with what you're doing and where you're at is just such a cool feeling. It's such a blessing. So I would say my purpose is perfectly in line.
From Bowling Green, Ohio to Savannah, and now all the way back to Cedar Creek. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Savannah Bananas third baseman and superstar, Kyle KJ Jackson!
Bro, thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. You ready for some questions?
I am ready. Hit me.
We're going to go deep real fast. Brittany wants to know, what is your favorite TikTok trend or dance that you've done?
Starting off with the hard hitters. I like it. I think my favorite TikTok trend would be the Forrest Frank, oh Lord, I need you now more than ever.
There were like 3 people singing with you. I think this side of the audience was like, I don't know that I know that song yet, but that was great too. I didn't know you could sing.
I'm a singer too.
Oh yeah, jeez, this is great. Daniel wants to know, if you don't know, this may sound inappropriate, Judgy or Big Dumper?
Judgy or Big Dumper, for those that don't know, those are professional baseball players. Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. I would go Aaron Judge because I like the Yankees, I like Aaron Judge, and I think he's a great hitter, so.
I think we're done, okay? You like the Yankees, I think this, I did it. Okay, great. When it comes to Savannah Bananas, I think we got a taste of it, but Deborah wants to know, like, how many hours does it take to practice? Like, give us a snapshot of what game day actually looks like for you.
So for those that don't know, game day is a very long day. I start off my morning around 7 a.m. with a quad espresso, which is 4 shots of espresso. Gotta wake up somehow,
Yeah.
I get to the field around 8 or 9 a.m. and we have about 3 to 4 hours of dance rehearsal or choreography that you're gonna learn for that day. And we have batting practice, and then we have to practice our trick plays. And then we have rope drop, which is a signing we do for the fans that show up early at 2 o'clock. We sign again at 4:30. The ropes open at 4:30. Everyone's led into the stadium, and the game starts at 7.
That's a long day. Rumor has it your line's the longest. Is that the way that it goes?
Rumor has it.
Oh, man. What is your favorite part of playing Savannah ball?
I think my favorite part about being on the Savannah Bananas and playing banana ball as a whole is just the insane reach you have as a young athlete, being only 23 years old and being able to travel the country and play in these sold-out stadiums and impact so many people, and kids especially. It's so warming to my heart to be able to spread my message and be on this athletic journey and still be able to chase my dreams.
So if we want to get tickets next year for the 50 games, somebody knows already.
Join the lottery.
Yeah, join the lottery. I think they're all sold out. And you're talking like professional baseball stadiums, sold out across the country. People so excited to be a part of part of the experience. So, you got to do trick plays, you got to do dance moves. Lauren wants to know, how do you handle all the pressure of all of that?
Handling the pressure is something that you have to learn and you have to adapt over time. In the beginning, I was willy-nilly, ignorant to the world, just having fun and just chasing my dreams. But now there's a spotlight, there's a magnifying glass, and there's always eyes on you. And knowing that, living the right way, always holding yourself to a high standard and surrounding yourself with good people will always keep you in line. And the pressure isn't pressure if you do it the right way and you're with the right people.
Yeah, that's cool. One of the things that was interesting to me, when they're hiring players to play on the Savannah Bananas, what is it that they're looking for? We talked a little bit about energy givers, I think is what you call it. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, totally. So they look for a lot of attributes and a lot of characteristics in these players, obviously dancing and singing and being a good baseball player, but something we really preach and emphasize is an energy giver, which can translate into a lot of different ways, but in my personal opinion, an energy giver is someone who, on their worst day, they don't sleep well, they may be sick, and they still give energy into their teammates and into their coworkers or whoever it may be, and then in return, that energy always has a strange way to come back to you and fill you up yourself, so be an energy giver.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting about the series that we're kind of starting in this season is what does it look like for you and I to be a gift? Part of that is being an energy giver, and I love how you shared how when you do that, oftentimes that energy, not always, but oftentimes it'll come back to you as well. And that's one way that we can be a gift to the people around us. I want you to think back to when you were here at Cedar Creek. Marissa wants to know, what is it, something that you remember, and what is something that you were really thankful for?
Yeah, I've been going to Cedar Creek for my entire life. I absolutely love this place. I have a lot of pride in this place. And some things that I just have really grounded me and always stick to my mind are when I was in Cedarville and having to memorize the Bible verses with my brothers and having to compete with each other, climbing up the rock wall and playing Foursquare, which no one could beat me in, and especially my brothers. And having such crazy memories, doing the middle school area and always wanting to go to fusion camp and wanting all these different things and these memories that just will carry with me my entire life.
Yeah. We were talking backstage. He was like, I'd beg my parents to go to fusion camp, and you'd have baseball tournaments or something.
I was always busy with baseball, and I used to beg my parents to let me go to fusion camp. It looked so fun.
Yeah, it's a camp for middle school, and camp season is open, and we're trying to talk KJ into an appearance this year if he can make it. I know you got a busy summer schedule. But talk a little bit about, I got to meet your parents. I know they're sitting in the audience right now. I'm so thankful for their investment. Talk about what are ways that they impacted your life, especially at a young age, for some of the parents or soon-to-be parents in the room. What advice would you have for us?
Yeah, my parents were always so invested in me and my brother's futures. They obviously helping us to give our life to Christ at such a young age and having that foundation that was placed as an 8-year-old, even younger, and then always having the ability to give us energy and never letting us doubt ourselves. And I would go 0 for 4 in a baseball game. I'd have the worst game of my life in football, and there's my mom and my dad right there to tell me you are on the right track and it's okay to have bad moments and bad games because the best players have those, and you're going to come out on the other side of it stronger, better, and a better man as well. So they've always held me accountable, and I can't thank them enough.
That's awesome. Let's give it up for KJ's parents and the investment that they made and for Sharon in the video. So you started playing baseball in high school. Where did you play locally? And talk a little bit about that experience.
Well, I've been playing baseball since I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I went to Bowling Green High School. Go Bobcats. I played baseball my entire life, played football, played basketball, and BG baseball was such a pivotal moment for me, obviously learning baseball, loving baseball, and then growing my career out of that city. And those people always had my back, and they defended me, and baseball has been such a great tool for me to use to reach so many people.
Yeah, that's so cool. I want to shift a little bit to your faith, too. I know that's an important part of your journey, but also a part of your life today. When do you feel closest to God?
Yeah, I feel closest to God, obviously traveling the entire country and playing in these stadiums and having your mind be so spread out and you're thinking so fast, but being around great people and being around good friends, good teammates, having your parents there and building a community is how you can keep yourself close to God, even when you feel far. If you're surrounded by men that love God, women that love God, and they're there for you and they will help you to get right back on track, even if you have that bad day or that bad moment, that's how you can stay close to God, and that's how I feel close to God.
You have a coach that's pretty influential. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, well, he's actually a player. A lot of you probably know Coach Rack,
Yeah.
and he is an amazing human. He's a great mentor. He's a great friend, great teammate, and he's been so amazing in just helping me navigate this journey with worship nights, with Bible studies, and hopefully in the future, more things where we can reach more people and impact tons of kids.
Man, that's awesome. You do have a couple tattoos.
I have a lot of tattoos.
A lot of tattoos. Talk about which one is your one that's significant to you and why.
Yeah, so I have a ton of tattoos, and they all have meaning, and I have Bible verses, I have a cross on my chest, and I have one ironically on my back, which says hupomone, which is the Greek word for conviction of faith through struggle, patience, endurance, and steadfastness, and being unwavering in your faith even through the worst times, and just remaining strong no matter what.
So as you think about like the platform that you have, not just with the Bananas, but also on social media, what doors do you see God opening for you, or how do you see God using you to make a difference in other people or young people's lives?
Yeah, God has been so amazing to me and blessing me, and he's opened so many amazing opportunities and doors, and he's helped me reach so many people. And one of the ways he's done that is with the eye black I wear during the games, and it's such a small and simple gesture, but it's such an outward public display of my faith and what I stand for, and my message is so clear that the cross and the heart on my face is what I stand for, and I love that I see almost hundreds of thousands of kids wearing the same eye black as me,
yeah.
and it's obvious that my message is resonating with these kids, and I think it's such a cool and special thing for me to feel and see, and my teammates to see, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty inspiring. Caitlin asked, for anyone, kind of on behalf of anyone who may be feeling like you did in that valley, like for people who are in the midst of the struggle today. I know right now it's easy to look at KJ and be like, well, look, you've arrived. But if somebody's in the midst of that hard season like you were, what's something that they can hold on to, or what word of encouragement would you have for them?
100%. When you're going through a struggle and you're in a valley, and I've had a number of these in my life where I feel as if this is rock bottom for me, but surrounding yourself with community, I know I've said it and I'll say it again, surrounding yourself with a strong community and having that support system with your family, your friends, your teammates, coworkers, all of these things have such a unique way of just keeping your foundation strong and allowing you to just remain the course and just stay strong in your faith.
Yeah, and I think, in my experience walking through seasons of my own, but also with people, the challenge is when you're struggling, the temptation is to pull in instead of reach out because you're embarrassed or because, you don't want to ask for help or whatever. And what I love about your continued reminders, even your repetition, it's like, no, reach out to the people, step into spiritual community that's going to help you navigate the struggle. And I think you model that really well, which is so inspiring. When you think about your future, what do you want to be remembered for?
In my future, and when I'm long gone from this earth, I hope that my message was clear, that I stood for Jesus Christ and he saved me, and I had all of these amazing things happen, but it was completely from God, and he used me, he can use you, and all of these things he's done in my life, he can do for each and every one of you and all the kids out there that are dreaming so big, and they can continue to chase that knowing that God's on their side and they have such a bright future ahead of them. That's my message.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, let's go. Savannah Bananas has an outreach that they do called Bananas Foster. So share with us a little bit. I mean, they're not just entertaining people. They also want to make a difference in the world. So talk about Bananas Foster.
Yeah, the Savannah Bananas, the organization as a whole, does so many things for the community, and they do so many amazing, inspiring foundations and things they create. But one of the things they create is Bananas Foster, and that's a nonprofit for children in foster homes, and they always commemorate those foster families at games. We give them a whole third inning show where they get to come out with their family, their adopted family, and we raise money and we bring attention to kids in foster homes, and we find them families, and they have done that so successfully these past couple of years. They've helped over thousands of children find homes forever, and it's very special.
So if you strike out in the third inning and then you've got to honor these families, it has a way of...
Yep. There's been times where I'll strike out and I'll have to immediately run back on the field with a smile on my face and give a hug, and that's the quickest way to just reset your mind and just know why you're there and know why you're on that field in the first place.
Well, that's pretty cool. You know, at Christmas, we invited the people who attended our Christmas services to give an offering, and we said we would give 100% of it away. And so, Kyle, because of your investment and time with us and in honor of you, we're going to make a donation of $10,000 to Bananas Foster. So just to make a difference in the way that you guys are too. Wow. So thank you for your generosity. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
And, you know, I've gotten a little taste of the KJ celebrity on my Instagram last night, seeing all of your fans on some of the posts that we've been tagged in together. And God's given you a pretty special opportunity. And the joy and the boldness that you have is pretty powerful. And I'm excited for the ways that he's going to do exceedingly more than you've ever asked or imagined. And what I want you to know is that you have a church family that's cheering for you and that's praying for you, because I know there are going to be some tough days. There's going to be incredible highs, but some valleys in the future. And so I'd love to take a moment as a church and just pray for you that God would continue to use you in the years ahead. Would you join me in praying for KJ? God, thank you so much for the ways that you have perfectly and uniquely wired KJ for the role that he has now. And God, you are opening up doors and opportunities for him to be used to help each person see their unique giftedness, to bring joy and hope and excitement to people across our country and around the world. And so, God, would you protect him? Would you keep his heart close to your heart? Would you remind him and give him vision for the ways that he can not only just help people have a good time at a baseball game, but also potentially get a little taste of your goodness and grace. And God, remind him again and again, him and his family, that he's got a church family cheering for him and praying for him as you continue to use him in powerful ways. Thank you for the blessing that he's been to each of us. Continue to bless him and his family in the year ahead, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, let's give KJ a huge thank you. Thanks for spending time with us, man.
Thank you all.
Yeah, great job. Thanks, KJ. Man, what a cool story. Thank you for being here this weekend. And some of you, you know, maybe you're like, well, okay, we shared a story of a guy who plays baseball. Do you know what the Bible is? The Bible is full of testimony of people, everyday, ordinary people like you and me, who God showed up in their life in a powerful way to make a difference. And so aside from all of the inspiring and fun parts of Banana Ball, what I don't want you to miss are some of the biblical truths that Kyle has depended on in his journey that he's living out today. See, you too are a gift. If you've been around here, you've heard me say you are the story that God wants to write, not just in your life, but in the community, in the place that he has you today. The question is, will you let him, or will you just try to write your own story? The Bible is full of passages like this in Psalm 139, prayers that say things like this: you, speaking to God, you, God, made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Pay attention to this. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. How well I know how you've wired me. When was the last time you said to God, thank you for the way that you made me? Like when God looks at you, he sees something wonderfully complex. He sees something marvelous. Do you believe that? Do you believe that that's true? Or do you focus on the mistakes and the mess and the things that aren't going the way that you had hoped or the way that you're comparing to other people? Let me be clear, that doesn't mean that the day that you're born, everything about your life and everything about the way that you think is perfect. It's not. Nobody is born perfect. But this passage and many others in the Bible teach us that you and I, the fact that you're here, you're God's idea. Like he intended for you to be here. He has purpose for your life. You were made to be a gift to the world. And too often we just don't see it. Why? Because we don't believe those biblical truths. So in order to do that, one of the things that I want to invite you to stop doing today is to stop comparing. Stop comparing your life to what you see around you, because comparison kills contribution. What happens is we begin to evaluate our value and our contribution alongside of what we see in someone else, which means we're comparing the way that we were made with the way that someone else was made, distinctly different. I mean, some of you, even right now, you're looking at your life and you're comparing it to KJ, and you're like, well, I mean, I wish I had what he had, instead of seeing and valuing the way that God made you unique and wonderfully complex. See, what happens is when we compare, we miss the gift that God created each of you to be. So stop comparing. Galatians 6:4. It says, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. And you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, because we each are responsible for our own conduct. So pay attention to the assignment and the purpose that God has for you. And when you do that, you'll feel some of the same joy or delight that Kyle and many of us feel when we live out our unique purpose. And for some of you, what that means is the greatest contribution you'll make may not be something you do, it may actually be someone you influence or a child that you raise. That doesn't make you any less significant. In fact, oftentimes, those are the roles that are celebrated more in the kingdom of heaven. So stop comparing. The second thing is to stop underestimating the struggle. The truth is, God does some of his greatest work through what feels like a struggle to us, what looks on the surface as like a roadblock or something that's insignificant to us. The Bible talks about this over and over. James chapter 1 says, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. See, troubles in your life are not a sign that you're a failure. And not all troubles are a sign that God's enemy is attacking you. Sometimes challenge is actually God's invitation to grow you and the gift that he wants to make to the world around you. And so stop minimizing them and instead step into them with him, with God. You'll need his help because it grows your, did you see that word? Endurance. That's the same word that helped KJ, that helped Kyle through his season, hupomone. It's this conviction of faith through the struggle. That's what this life of faith is about. This is what you see in his story. I mean, it's easy to focus on where he's at now and miss the significance of all that he endured and the challenges that he went through. And so James reminds us that when we have troubles, consider it an opportunity for joy. And he goes on in the next verse, in verse 4, to explain. He says, so let it grow. Let hupomone grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect. You'll be complete. You'll need nothing. In other words, you'll be whole. Isn't that what you crave? That happens through the struggle. So when things get hard, instead of feeling like a failure, lean into your faith and the story that God is trying to write into your life, the gift that he's creating you to be. And so how do we do that? Well, the first thing is you got to see your wiring. You got to pay attention to your personality, your strengths, your interests, your quirks, even your weaknesses. I mean, did you notice that in KJ's story? The unique ways that God's wired him are now showing up through baseball, through Savannah Banana Ball, all of that. You too are fearfully and wonderfully made. And oftentimes people don't appreciate their unique gift. They just think everybody's good at this. And you minimize the ways that God's wired you to be a gift or a contribution to the world around you. And so today, with courage and endurance, trust that God wired you with purpose. See your wiring. Second, see your story. Pay attention to what's happened in your life. The celebrations, but also the struggles. God never wastes a hurt, and he can fill it with purpose. That's what I love about KJ's story, is how God showed up through the challenges. And now we can look back, and those challenges make so much sense, the way that God used the timing and all of them to bring him to where he's at today. You may be in the midst of a struggle today. Lean into your faith and trust that God can get you to places you could never get to on your own. because each of the struggles that KJ experienced was a part of the story that God is continuing to write in his life. See your wiring, see your story, and the last one that I think most people overlook is to see your place. Too often we think, oh, I will be more purposeful when I get to this position, when I get to this stage in my life, and you miss the simple ways God wants to start making a difference in your life today. It starts in the place you are now. So if you're young, if you're 10, 13, teenager, high school, college student, you know who Jesus recruited to be his followers. They were teenagers. You're not too young to be used by God to make a difference. And if you're on the other end, if you're not dead, God's not done with you yet, okay? So you're not out of it either. Like, lean into the place that God has you in. God intended for you to be here at this point in human history. So stop minimizing it and step into it. Ask God, like, what do you have for me today? Because the bottom line is our world needs what God put in you. Like, our world needs it. God intended that. Your life is too valuable. Your contribution is too important for you to settle or for you to stay on the sidelines. And so what step is God inviting you to take today? And maybe it's to stop comparing your life with everyone else. Maybe it's to step into the struggle with him. To grow your hupomone, your courage and your conviction, your endurance. Maybe today is an invitation to see your wiring and to maybe look at your story a little differently, to see the place that God has you and to step into those opportunities like Kyle. Man, I don't want you to miss that. And so if you've never, maybe this whole faith journey is new to you. If you've never surrendered your life to him, that's where it started with him. Make today your prayer where you're like, God, I want to give my life to you. And I want to experience the grace and forgiveness of having Jesus live in me and through me. Make that your prayer right now. And if you're not ready for that, just come back next weekend. I love to tell people, give us a year. You'll experience God changing your life. I believe that. If you don't know your purpose, we have an experience called Growth Track that's dedicated space to help you understand how God wired you to make a difference in our world. Maybe that's the step. But my hope for each of us this holiday season is that you'll see the truth, the gift that God intended you to be, not the mistake, that you were made on purpose, for a purpose, to bring some joy and God's hope and God's peace to our world. And so would you make that your prayer with me right now? God, thank you. Thank you for KJ's story and the inspiration that it is for me, for many of us, even through the challenge. And so God, I pray that each of us would begin to see with clarity the unique ways that you've wired us and give us the confident humility to step into being a gift, an energy giver to the people around us this Christmas season. Thank you for giving us awesome ways to partner with you to spread your joy and your grace to our world and help us live that out. We pray in Jesus' name, amen. Now, before you go, I have two quick things. The first thing is, on your way out, we're going to be giving you, each of you, one of these little banana-colored bracelets that has the cross equals a heart as a reminder to be a gift this holiday season. And so take it with you. And then I also want to remind you that Christmas is only 18 days away. And thank you. You're welcome, okay? So begin planning and praying for and inviting now. Here are the service times that will be available for us. As you can see, there are a lot of them. And so you will be given an invite card on the way out with a QR code to find a service time that works for you. Take as many as you will use to give away. And I want to remind you that we will be taking a Christmas offering at our Christmas services, during our Christmas services, at 100% will be given away, again, to bring help and hope to our community. And so join me in being a gift to our community, the gift that God intended each of us to be. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.